Chapter 35. A change in the appointed course of the falling of the trans-spaceship Karnak. At this point of Beelzebub's conversation with his kinsman, he was told that the captain of the ship sought permission to speak with him personally. Soon after Beelzebub had given his consent, the captain entered, and with a respectful salute addressed Beelzebub and said, "Your Reverence, at the beginning of our journey you condescended to let fall a word which hinted that on the return journey you would perhaps decide to stop on the way at the holy planet Purgatory to see the family of your son, Tuilan. If this is indeed your intention, then it will be better if you give me the order to do so now, because we shall soon be passing through the solar system, Kal Mayan, and if having passed this system we do not direct the falling of our ship immediately more to the left, we shall greatly lengthen the path of its falling." "Yes, please, my dear captain," Beelzebub replied. "There is nothing against stopping on the way at this holy planet. No one knows whether there will be another such happy occasion for me to go there and visit the family of my dear son, Tuilan." When the captain saluted and was on the point of going out, Beelzebub suddenly, as if remembering, stopped him and addressed him in the following words. "Wait, my dear captain, I want to ask you to accede to yet another of my requests." And when the captain, drawing nearer, had sat down in his appointed place, Beelzebub continued thus. "My request to you is that you consent after the visit to the holy planet Purgatory to give our ship Karnak such a course of falling that on the way we may reach the surface of the planet Descaldino. The point is that in the present period of the flow of time on that great planet, the great Saru-Nor-Rishan, my first educator, so to say the fundamental cause of all the spiritualized parts of my genuine common presence, has the place of his permanent existence. I should like, as at that first time, before going to the sphere on which I rose, to profit by this occasion and fall once more at the feet of the prime creator of my genuine being, the more so since just now, returning from my perhaps last conference, the entire satisfactoriness of the present functioning of all the separate spiritualized parts of my common presence was revealed not only to me myself, but also to most of the individuals I met, and in consequence, the being impulse of gratitude towards the great Saru-Nor-Rishan arose in me, and is still inextinguishably maintained. I very well know, my dear captain, that I am giving you no easy task, because I have already been a witness of the difficulties in carrying out this same request of mine, when, returning for the first time after my gracious pardon to the place of my arising on the planet Caritas, I desire before descending onto it to visit the surface of the planet Descaldino. On that occasion, when the captain of the intersystem ship Omnipresent had agreed to this, and directed the falling of the Omnipresent in the direction of the atmosphere of that planet, and was indeed able to carry out my request, I was able, before my return to my native land, to reach the surface of the planet Descaldino, and I had the happiness of greeting the great Saru-Nor-Rishan, the creator of my genuine being existence, and to receive from him his creator benediction, most dear and most precious to me. To this request of Beelzebub's, the captain of the ship Karnak answered, "Very good, your reverence. I will think out how it may be possible to carry out your desire." I do not know just what obstacles there were then for the captain of the ship Omnipresent, but in the present case, on the direct route between the holy planet Purgatory and the planet Descaldino, there lies the solar system called Saus Manino, in which there are many of these cosmic concentrations which, for purposes of the general cosmic trog auto-egocratic process, are predetermined for the transformation and radiation of the substances Zil-No-Trago, and therefore the direct falling of our ship Karnak, unhindered through this system, will scarcely be possible. In any case, I will try in one way or another to satisfy the desire expressed by your reverence. Having said this, the captain rose, and respectively, saluting Beelzebub, went out. When the captain of the ship had left the place where Beelzebub was sitting with his kinsman, Hussein ran to his grandfather, and again sitting down as usual at his feet, coaxingly asked Beelzebub to continue to relate what had happened to him after his departure from the capital of that large community of the beings of the planet Earth, which was called St. Petersburg. Chapter 36. Just a wee bit more about the Germans. Beelzebub began thus. From St. Petersburg, I first of all went to what are called the Scandinavian countries, and after travelling through these countries, I settled in the chief point of the beings of the contemporary grouping called Germany. Having said this, and having patted the curly head of Hussein, Beelzebub, with a good-natured smile, but with an admixture of what is called slyness, continued thus. Now, my boy, wishing to give you a certain understanding of the peculiar psyche of the free-brained beings of this contemporary European grouping also, I will this time change my practice, namely, of initiating you into various details for elucidating information, but will set you such a problem that from the solving of it you will, in the first place, exhaustively make clear to yourself the specificness of the psyche of the beings of just this European grouping, and in the second place, it will serve as ideal practice for your mentation. This original problem which I have devised for you is that while actively meditating, you are to deduce those logical data, the totality of which should make clear to you the very essence of the reason why, just among the beings of this contemporary European grouping, in whatever part of what they call their fatherland they happen to be, one innocent custom obtains, according to which, whenever they gather in any place for some feast or other, or simply for what is called a spree, they unfailingly and invariably sing one and the same song, composed by themselves, and in the highest degree original, consisting of the following words. Blodsinn, Blodsinn, doen mein Bergnagun, Stumpfersinn, Stumpfersinn, du mein Lust. And so, my boy, if you succeed in making anything out of this fact, then for your common presence there will be actualized in full the wise saying of our dear teacher Mullah Nasir Eddin, which he expressed in the following words. The very greatest happiness consists in obtaining the pleasurable with the profitable. For you it will be pleasurable because you will have ideal practice for your active mentation, and profitable because you will thoroughly understand the specificness of the psyche of the free-brained beings who interest you, who breed on the planet Earth, and who belong to this contemporary European grouping. In view of the fact, as I have once already told you, that the beings of this contemporary grouping are the direct substitutes of the ancient Greeks in respect of inventing every possible kind of science, and in view of the fact that your deductions from the problem I have set you might be diametrically opposite to confrontative logical possibilities, I find it necessary to help you a little and to inform you further concerning two facts. The first fact is that the certain words of this song have no corresponding words in any other language, in spite of the fact that this planet of yours is called, in respect of the existence there of an innumerable number of languages, a 1,000-tongued hydra. And the second fact is that when it finally became inherent to the beings of this grouping, just as to the ancient Greeks, to invent every maleficent means for disintegrating what is called logical being mentation, already sufficiently disintegrated without this, they also invented, among other things, for their language, a certain so-called grammatical rule, according to which they always, during any kind of exchange of opinions, even to the present day, place the particle of negation after the affirmation, as for instance, they always, instead of saying, I do not want this, say, I want this not. Thanks to this grammatical rule of theirs, either listener during an exchange of opinions first of all receives a suggestion as if it was subject to actualization, and thus there must proceed in him a certain being diadogging, or as they themselves would say, a certain experiencing, and only later at the end, when speaking according to their grammatical rule, do they pronounce their famous nicht, so that each time, as a result, there is accumulated in their common presences that which in totality actualizes, though slowly yet surely, this mentioned specificness in their common psyche, and from this fact you should be able to elucidate this original problem I have set you.